Thank you for joining in with us this glorious morning. I am your host, Priscilla Mack, and this is the Good Morning Show. Rise, shine, and give God the glory. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Today, my dear friends, we have a beautiful guest named Stephanie Jones, and she is all the way from Florida. And it has been something getting her to come on here. You know, we have Hurricane Irma, but she is safe and sound, and that is all that matters. I mean, I was just really glad to hear that things didn't flood in her area. So she's here, and she was able to give me a little bit of her experience about that. Also, what she will be talking to us today is about marriage. We need help in those areas, even if you're not married. I think she's going to give us some tips of some areas maybe where we stumbled at. And also she does mental health, which I am very curious about. I went on your website, okay? The website, everyone, is called Lifestyle Management Counseling. Stephanie, how does that work out together with marriage counseling and the mental health?
Well, first, let me make sure to acknowledge your followers and definitely give some acknowledgement to you for considering me for this interview. I am coming all the way from Jacksonville, Florida, and I did survive Hurricane Irma. Thank God with no damage, no flooding. I can't say the same for the city as a whole, but I definitely thank God that we are safe and sound on our end. But, yes, in response to your question, I do own and operate Lifestyle Management Counseling. And I've been doing this for over 10 years, and I have to say that I absolutely love it. And I say that because I contract for the Department of Defense for the military during the day, and then I have the private practice in the afternoon. So when you work with, post-traumatic stress and severe and major depression and things of that nature, when someone comes in and they have a communication issue, you thank God that that it and so with that, and just to answer your question about mental health versus kind of marital, the two are one and the same, and it's really best explained that individuals, couples, marital counseling is really just a sector of the mental health process, and so whatever it is that you're going through or whatever it is that you're experiencing, it is a portion of how it impacts your overall mental health and your well-being.
Now, is this something that you recommend? Because some people say you should go to these marriage counselings prior to getting married.
I definitely always recommend that. Premarital counseling is definitely a godsend because it allows couples to really address a lot of their expectations, those that are announced and unannounced, prior to saying I do. And a lot of times, at least on my end, I find that couples kind of, they work on the reactive end. So after there's a problem, after something has happened, the response is, listen, we need to get counseling.
Yeah, and I wonder if because, if you're going to go prior to as well, what if the counselor tells you this is not going to work? Would you?
And that's really, really hard. That's a really hard pill to swallow because, you look forward to getting married. You look forward to spending the rest of your life with this person, but you also want it to be as successful as it possibly can be. So you want to have someone that is willing to be transparent and willing to be honest with you about those areas so that, it doesn't mean that you can't get married or that you shouldn't get married. There's just a lot of things that need to be addressed on the front end so that you're not having to, deal with a lot of those unnecessary challenges on the back end.
What would you say those challenges usually are, like the most common?
The most common, or at least my top two that I experience the most, that would be first, communication. Communication is the number one presenting concern that I see regularly. The second one is infidelity.
One of the things that I notice about couples that I like and admire, and you can school me on this, okay, because I'm prior married too, is that I like couples whose marriage has a mission. It's almost like, for me, when I got married, you're in love and everything, but love goes away. People don't look cute after a while. And you don't like them. You could lose your money. Things happen. But and I don't want to say this, but even infidelity, and I'm really not for infidelity. Infidelity will turn me off. But it seems like those who have a mission have something to get up and get dressed together for, beyond everything for the day. If they work together with children, or if they're in a ministry, or even if they have a business, they know that their marriage itself serves a purpose.
And I definitely agree with that. I mean, I know we all grew up under the pretenses and the understanding of being equally yoked with someone. And so a lot of times we misunderstand or even misrepresent, what that is. So when you talk about having a relationship mission and a relationship goal, that's a portion of being equally yoked. You want to be with someone that does, want to pursue, some of those same areas within the marriage that you do, because that's where a lot of this is just having individual ideals about how to operate within the marriage, and it's not centered more on the marriage, it's more centered on me.
Well, listen, I can see that, the way that you think and then the way that your partner thinks are alike. Both of you are entrepreneurs and you have a business. It's really hard for a woman when you are wanting to be an entrepreneur, pursuing that dream, and you are yoked, not even equally, to someone who is not about that and not going to support it. They just want to come home every day and do their job, and that's it. And that's fine for them. But when you are venturing off to something else, it's a disruption. So, but already married. Now, how do those kind of couples survive when you're already in there and you're going, obviously, in two different paths of growth?
I would definitely say that, one of the first things that you're trying to assess when you're working with couples is what is their emotional intelligence. Because, it's not necessarily a challenge, and, I'm going to use some gender roles here. It's not as much of a challenge as it is for women as it can be for men to be more emotionally, in tune, but trying to survey that person's ability to be empathetic and be compassionate with, whatever it is that their partner is pursuing or interested in or needing support in, because sometimes it's not even just about pursuing a business venture, or, it can really be something as simple as how to run your household, and trying to best identify how you can support that person even in the roles that you have at home, So even if you prefer to keep the house excessively clean and he prefers to kind of get the things, as he chooses, what is your emotional intelligence to better, be compassionate and understanding to how I can best meet the needs of my partner.
Wow. And so how can our listeners connect with you?
The easiest way to connect with me is definitely on my website, and that is www.lifestylemanagementcounseling.com. You can also find me in social media outlets. My Instagram and Twitter handler is @LifestyleMCC. And then one of the newer ventures that I've been pursuing is Women at Werk, and that is Women at Werk with an E. And so that E is a substitution for the O intentionally, with the purpose of trying to empower women. And it doesn't necessarily mean black women or white women or Asian women or otherwise, just to stick with keeping that portfolio diverse, because women need support no matter what. And so using that as a springboard to really empower and encourage women to network with one another, because that is the best way for us to be as successful is just by having support.
Now, when we spoke earlier, what we were talking about was sometimes women have a tendency, and it's actually fading, so we want that to continue, is not to work together. There's a little bit of a competition issue there. So how are you navigating through that, through the growth of your business as a businesswoman?
I am a person who loves mentorship, and that comes in different areas. It doesn't have to be someone who is older than me or younger than me or in between. I always find myself, and I hate to use the term leech, but I'm a person that literally likes to meet someone and really soak up that energy like a sponge and then squeeze it out in the areas that I need it to be the most beneficial, because, you know, one of my biggest mantras in practice is progress, not perfection. And a lot of times that is the challenge for a lot of us, is that we have these desires in our heart to be great and aspire to be great, but a lot of times there's a lot of roadblocks that come along with that. And so really trying to make those goals a little bit more small and a lot more tangible is what helps us to meet those challenges a lot faster.
Wow. How is the group growing so far?
It is going well. I literally just rolled it out maybe about 2 weeks ago, and kind of in that time frame, not only have I, increased the followers by hundreds, but I've also connected with so many women locally and abroad, just from, just kind of rolling out something like this. And, of course, you start from within with just, who's in your immediate circle, who's amazing,
Mm-hmm.
You surround yourself by those people that you find to be an influence and an inspiration. And so I've met so many amazing women that, I also interview, and I also, learn more about what it is that they do, because a lot of times I'll find that they literally are like a carbon copy of me. And I just find that so amazing, that it just gives you so much energy that you just want to give it back.
Mhm. Mhm. And I like the way that it's being branded. It looks really clean and crisp. Okay, and the quality of what we put out there is, is the law of attraction. All right. Mm-hmm. So can you tell us where people can at least look at that Facebook page, especially my female listeners, so you can look at this Facebook page that she has? What's that?
Yes, if you will actually go on Facebook and just do your facebook.com/womenatwork with an E, you'll be able to connect that way. If there's any direct questions or anything like that, by all means, send me your message. I'm very much a proponent of being transparent. I'm a big proponent of being accountable. So no message will go unanswered. No message will go unresponded to, because that is the way that you connect with persons. And I understand that, as we, do what we need to do in our own lives, sometimes the challenge is that we're just busy. I get it. But I always try to make it, with purpose and with intention to be available, whether it's just, answering a quick question or providing some sort of support or a response, because that's what it could make the difference between someone doing something great or not doing anything at all.
Correct. Now, that, again, audience, that is Women at Work, Women at WERK, WERK. So make sure you go ahead and check that Facebook page out and like it. So that you can see the quality of it and the content that is on there that Ms. Stephanie is putting out there as the CEO of and founder of Women at Work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? This is like networking too, correct?
Very much so. And so one of the upcoming things that I intend to do with Women at Work, and I'm definitely giving you that kind of firsthand scoop before it rolls out, is I will be facilitating a Women at Work Empowerment Conference in the spring. So I will be soliciting, speakers and vendors and sponsors and definitely attendees to really just have a day symposium of empowerment and networking and information in an effort to just really provide a platform for women to have access.
Okay, you all heard that. So she said she's going to have a Women Empowerment Conference. And we have been talking on this show about getting out and networking. So that's not only a networking opportunity, but for those of you who are speakers, may want to go over there and connect. If you know someone who is a speaker, you may want to connect them and say, hey, I was listening to the Good Morning Show this morning, and I heard a young lady named Stephanie Jones who has something called Women at Work. Now, one thing I want to let you all know in as a secret is you really have to get connected with these these women organizations when they first jump off, and this is a first jump offer, so that, you want to be the pioneer of that when it starts rolling out, okay? That's a secret. I'm not even going to tell you why, but you need to know. You need to just know that I'm so serious. When you see them just rolling out, you need to get on board. So definitely, Stephanie, I'll be getting with you after this show about Women at Work, because I know.
Definitely.
And this is really a quality. This is a quality one. I know you're out in Jacksonville, but you all probably will expand and definitely would like to have connections. So this is
very much so.
This is great.
For this to be a global market, in order to really just kind of expand that brand of just encouraging women to be good to each other and be good to themselves.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, I want to ask you something about when you were talking about those with PTSD, because I'm a veteran, and we're always trying to figure out, we always want to know what we can get with our VA benefits and military benefits, and with spouses coming to you, because maybe spouses can reach out to you through the inbox. See, when we're living on base and post, everybody knows our business. So if we can just send a private message to somebody who doesn't really know us like that and get some guidance and consultation, especially if, hubby is overseas, is there a way that they could receive consultation together with you if he's overseas?
One of the first things I always recommend, especially for, service members, is if you're deciding to use a civilian provider, make sure that civilian provider is a TRICARE, recipient. Make sure that they're on that panel so that you're not receiving, one, exorbitant bills, and then two, they, best understand the military culture. Even if using that type of provider, you want to make sure to at least address those things on the front end. And I always recommend counseling the same as I would a pair of pants. I want to keep trying it on until it fits. So don't always feel like you're obligated to stick with, one particular counselor. And I know it can be a challenge, when you're kind of directed to certain counselors based on your zip code. So you just want to allow that process to be a lot more organic so that you can provide, you can find someone that fits best with what your needs are, with what your personality is like. I know for me that I'm a very non-traditional type of counselor. So as easy as I can sit in an office and ask you how you feel, I can also get out here with you if you have weight loss goals and work out with you. So I've always been a very non-traditional person. Your second option is your Fleet and Family Support Center. I know that the terminology kind of varies from branch of service to branch of service, but particularly with the Navy, the Fleet and Family Support Center is kind of a subsidiary of the military where you can get confidential counseling. Of course, the chaplain is always a great recommendation, but in utilizing that Fleet and Family Support Center, essentially your documentation isn't as attached to your record, your military record. So for spouses, for active duty, for other beneficiaries, it kind of helps to kind of keep just a little bit of a separation between church and state.
Thank you so much, Ms. Stephanie. And for those who are in the military and for those who are moms, I'm going to let you know, Stephanie is a very successful and very humble millennial woman. And we are both prior single moms. And let me tell you about being a single mom. Even if you're married, listen, we know how to work the system. Okay? We know how to work the system. I'm going to tell you how to work this system right now. You need to get with Stephanie. Okay? I don't know who you have right now. You need to get your consultation. Reach out, because with Stephanie, you have somebody that you can not only obtain some sound counseling from that is non-traditional, that's not going to bore you, have you yawning, and have you act, because some people will counsel you separately from your partner and then have you acting crazy against that person, repeating everything that they said throughout the day. Also, if you are a woman, you are also connected to someone who can help you grow successfully as a female in different aspects, okay, as a mother, as a business person, as a wife. This is a one-stop shop. Y'all better work the system. You better work the system. Okay. All right. So also, you guys, it gets better because if the next 20 followers, she will provide free personal consultation, not emailing you a blog. Okay, that's free. It happens. You all better. Yeah. So with the next 20 followers, and then she can see them if you follow her. Where should they follow you, Stephanie?
The easiest way to find me is at Lifestyle NCC, and that's on Instagram and Facebook and all of those. You can always send me an email as well. I'm open to that. My email is sjones@lifestylemanagementcounseling.com, and I always, give the disclaimer, at least give me 24 hours before you count me out.
Okay, 24 hours, and you all, I will have that information on my Facebook page, Priscilla Mack, okay, as well.
Wonderful.
But the first 20, and we can see and count. I'm telling you all, Werk.
I'm seeing and I'm counting.
Right, and if you are about to get married, get in there before the married ones dominate the game, okay? Because the people who are already married, they're not thinking about you just trying to get married. They want their stuff now. So thank you once again, Miss Stephanie Jones, the beautiful Miss Stephanie Jones. You all have to see her. Her picture is going to be on my Priscilla Mack page as well. Thank you for joining us. Our sponsor for this show is Crab Kings right here in Central Texas. And you know what? This is a global talk show. That's why it's called the Good Morning Show, because it's a good morning everywhere we go. Rise, shine, and give God the glory. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I am your host, Priscilla Mack. Take care.